Hello there everybody, Reggie Time here for my YouTube channel at the 5NL tables on the ipoker network, and this is where the next few videos are going to come from me. My play is mostly on Unibet these days, but playing regular tables doesn't make for the best of videos. You have to make videos that just last too long, they don't hold people's attention, for you to get enough good content in them. And because they don't have any way of tracking their hands, it's hard to do any like hand history reviews from Unibet, because all you have is some text-based hand history kind of reviewer type thing, and it's just messy. It's not good for video making. So we're not going to be doing that. So I have just the money I had left from my rake back on Unibet from when I was playing there the other week. On Bet more so when I was playing there the other week. So we're just going to play some 5NL with that and hopefully not bust the account in the next few weeks for video purposes. See bet here with my good shot, backdoor flush draw. Get it in a really good table 3 with the 9s, which is pretty sweet. You get raised here. Good shot, backdoor flush draw. Fold the 10s there to the dom bit with 2 overcards. This is just a fold against someone with this stack size. It looks like he doesn't want to. Sorry, it looks like he wants to try and get the money in. If he wants to try and get the money in, we'd probably have really quite poor equity. So it's frustrating, but probably quite trivial fold there. I guess we could peel. If he had a deeper stack, we could absolutely have called there to try and pick up some equity on the turn. But against that stack size, even when we call and we hit, we don't win a lot of money, so we just let it go. And the key to beating these games is to make hands, value bet, and try to bluff versus weak ranges. Getting any more adventurous than that is just going to not be great. This is not a bomb we're going to see bet. Even though we do have 2 backdoor draws, multi-way, it's just we're not going to get anywhere near enough fold equity on that bet, and we're not going to suck out often enough. So we're just going to check fold. Mandatory C bet here with the King Jack, I believe. Been squeezed here with King Queen off. Not the best of hands to continue with, but it's going to go multi-way. And I think calling is the best thing to do, particularly if you're going to flop the nuts. Check raised here on this board. It's very, very easy fold. I'm just going to bomb it here, because if somebody has an ace, they're just not going to fold. And if they don't have an ace, there's probably not much ways we're going to get value from our hand. And we get check raise, which is obviously a thing of great beauty. And now we're just going to shove all the money in and hope to run good. And we did run good. Beautiful. Now, I'm not sure what the King Jack's still doing in the hand at that point, but happy days. Happy days. As you can see, I am playing without stats. That's pretty much because I will have no sample size whatsoever on any of these guys. So even if I did pick up, say, 50 or 60 hands on someone during the course of the video, it's not really going to have that much value. I'm going to call here with a nice to set mine and just hope that Slav Lucky doesn't 4-bet. Maybe he does 4-bet, we just wasted 30 cents, but with it looking like it's got a very good chance of going multi-way. I think set mine is entirely appropriate. Try and keep the pot small here with the 9s. If any bets and calls go, I'm probably just going to let it go, even though we do have the overpair. In the multi-way part, it's a very, very weak hand we have here. It's if it checks round, it's probably our hand's probably good. If it doesn't check round, I'm just going to let it go, because I don't see any way how we can continue in the hand unless we hit a 9 on the turn. And if my only plan is hit a 9 on the turn or hope it checks down, it's not much of a plan. I just don't think we can expect this to check down enough if we call. I don't think we expect to win a showdown in the final, so just going to make a tight fold. And I think we have enough showdown value here in our ace jack to not have to bluff. Yeah, we're going to lose a decent amount of time to have that pocket fours, pocket fives, etc. Maybe ace queen. But I think we have enough showdown value, and just on crucially more important than that, I don't think we make people fold pairs very often. So we'll just try to show our hand down. Oh, 3-4, that's dirty. That is dirty. Not quite sure why it's sitting me out there, but hopefully it'll soon put me back in. So we called a bet with the 7-9 suited in the small blind because it was such a small raise. And we got not the worst flop, but not the best flop either. And again, if my only plan is to try and improve on the turn, again, it's not much of a plan. So even though I've made a pair, our position says we have to fold. In position there, I probably would have called, because I think being in position is a much stronger situation than being out of position where we get to see what our opponents do on the turn before we have to decide what we're going to do. Is it, for example, some checks we can think about maybe whether some thin value versus draws or just betting to make people fold equity share, etc. But when we're out of position, we're going to be forced to check it all of the time, and we can't really continue versus the turn barrel. So because of that, I think just check folding now is absolutely fine. I think 5-4 suited is too thin to isolate. Small suited cards are nice in like multi-way small pots, but when we isolate, we're just going to get in tons of trouble with it quite often, because we're going to get called by a better hand almost all of the time. I don't know how often people squeeze here at 5-0, but we're going to call and try and outplay someone for us, either make a hand or outplay somebody. And we flop a set, which is obviously a nice thing to do. I'm not going to fast play it. Given his stack size, we don't need to. I think we can allow him to put a second bet in. He doesn't put a second bet in, unfortunately. So now we're just going to hope he's somehow got like a hand like ace 10 or something that C-bet then gave up. And let the 10 jack go out of position. Our sixes are probably just good here, so no reason to bet with them. Versus this don't bet. If it was a drier board, I would consider raising, but there's just lots of draws he can have there. There's like wet boards that are just donking to 3-bet or donking and just not folding, so even that, I think we could just let it go. 6 is going to check, presume, well, not presume, but I think there's a good chance we're just going to win the hand. We're going to fold the ace jack to the squeeze. You notice that I'm potting under the gun. I think it's a fine thing to do in games where people are going to be calling way more than they're going to be 3-betting. This means we get to build a bigger pot and extract more value post flop most of the time when we want to. Our deuces do not improve versus someone with this stack size. I'm not going to make an attempt to bluff them. Didn't want to sit out there. Just going to make a very standard c-bet here on this board with the king queen. Just trying to make him fold any pairs he's got. Just generally fold any equity he might have. He's got like a jack 10 or something like that. I'd rather just have him fold it than check, and then maybe he'd use it to bluff me with, or just allowing free cards to hit. When he calls, I'm just done with it. Again, 7-4 suited, same as the 5-4 suited earlier. We're not going to be using a hand like that to isolate. For isolation purposes, I'd rather have, against people who are limping, I'd rather have a hand like a 10-9 off, a Jack-10 off, Queen-9 off. All those types of hands at high card value has way more. The high card value is way better to isolate limpers with than hands like 5-4 suited. Because if we're just going to go to showdown more often, we're going to need to make more like top pairs and things to try and win the pots. And you don't make many top pairs with 5-4 suited, whereas you make plenty of top pairs with Queen-9 suited. Queen-9 off, 10-9, sorry, 10-9 off, Queen-10 off, all those types of King-9 off suit. I'd just much rather have high cards against fishy players when I'm isolating than suited connectors. I like suited connectors, but don't really like them to just isolate with. So this guy's made a really quite a small 4-bet versus us, sorry, 3-bet. We have King Jack off. It's only costing us 5 and a bit more blinds to see the flop, so why not see a flop? We get to play a pot in position with a pretty playable hand. Which isn't the worst situation for us to find ourselves in. That is a big old C-bet. Obviously we're not going to fold just now, but I am starting to think at some point I might need an exit strategy from the hand. And we called this 3-bet on table 3 just because it was such a stupidly small 3-bet. We couldn't ever fold. I think our hand's almost invulnerable at this point. It's kind of like way ahead probably, sometimes way behind. I think I'd rather just check if an ace or a queen comes, I'll just deal with it, and then probably just call rivers if he bets again. If he doesn't bet, then we'll just value bet ourselves, make a small value bet. He does bet again, he pots it too. This is making me quite nervous because I hate paying off in these games. I mean, we can't think of many hands he would play this way if he's a competent player. I'm somewhat worried that he's not a competent player and he was just going for some silly check raise on the turn. I expect to see that. I think that ace is quite a lot here and what have you, but we're going to call anyway. Wow. Did not expect to see the King 8. So, congratulations to him. He's won our money. Not really sure what to say about that. I think our pre-flop call's justified when you see what he's turned up with. I think our flop call's justified. Our turn check back's justified. I guess we could just flop through that when he pots it. I guess that's something that we could do. But it's such a weird line. Make a really small 4-bet here. Giving up with a King 6. Wow. So we have people who 3-bet fold versus another one from middle positions. It's an interesting world that we live in. We made a really small 4-bet there too. Maybe we just tipped our hand up, but I don't believe it. I think people kind of know that when we make the small 4-bet, we're usually going to be nutted. But then they look at the price to get in and think, fuck it, I call anyway. And so I guess he just had some complete bluff there. He folded that quickly. Again, in a really small 3-bet. I hate these small 3-bets that people make. Not hate them as in hate being 3-bet small. I don't mind being 3-bet small at all. I hate them in terms of the position that people put themselves in when they do it. And we'll talk about it more in just a moment. Call 1C with the King Queen. And probably just give up if he continues with the aggression. Very similar situation to the King 8 hand a moment ago. But this time we're not going to pay the river off if he bets. Not going to c-bet the 10s into 2 players. I'm going to c-bet the Ace King. He's checked again to us, so I'm going to make a small value bet, 4-2 raise. We chop it up. And I'm now going to bet these 10s for value. Isolate with the ace queen. Well, there's a lot going on. As for cash, we don't need to see the ace queen here. Just check back. We have more than enough showdown ways. Just check back. He's not folding any pairs on that board texture. Don't think he's bluffing here very often, but we're getting like 3-1 to make a call, 4-1 really. And he will just sometimes be like value betting worse or just randomly clicking buttons. 9-7. I think that is just good enough to isolate with. He's going to turn up with an 8 or a 9 quite a lot here, but we were getting a ridiculous price to call, so we'll just do that. Fold to that 3-bet out of position. Yeah, so talking about the small 3-bets out of position that we see tons of people doing these days. I'm seeing people regularly making like 2.5x the button. People will make it like 6.5 blinds. I'd hate it. I really don't like it. I think what the people who do that are, they're just giving people, they're just literally never getting folds. So people just don't fold to when they've got to put, when you're asking them, oh fuck it, I'm supposed to bet there, but never mind. Now we have to fold. In fact, I'm going to pause the session while we're talking about it because I think it's something that I've got quite a strong opinion on, and I'm sure some people will disagree with me. But yeah, when we're making it, say we open the button for 2.5x, regular makes it anything from 6 to 7x in the small blind. They're just almost never getting folds. We're asking people to put 4.5 more blinds in. We're super deep usually, well, but effectively we're really quite deep. And they're just never getting folds. The bets carry no fold equity. Now, if you're always doing it with just value hands, I guess it's fine. But when I see people doing it with bluffs, and I think that just 3-betting really small with a hand like we saw that guy do King 8 off suit, Queen 9 suited, things like that, they're just storing up loads of problems. And I can understand they want to be aggressive from the small blind versus steals, but then they're not getting the fold equity that they need because they're making the bets too small. And people in these games, they just call too much. They're just going to call. If you give them like 2.5, 3-1 pre-flop to call with a whole bunch of implied odds behind and the opportunity to outplay you on all kinds of board textures, I think you're giving too much up from the small blind. So I tend to encourage people who I'm working with and do it myself to just make my 3-bets slightly bigger when I'm out of position. So some min opens, I don't care if min opens, and I'm making it 8 blinds, so like 4x there open, because I'm still only making it 8 blinds. It's still not a lot of money I'm asking them to put in. You'll never catch me making it 6 or 7 blinds when I'm out of position. In position sometimes against certain stack sizes, I will make just like a 3x 3-bet or a 2.5x 3-bet, but out of position, particularly when we're 100 blinds deep and someone's only min raised or 2.5x, I think making it less than 8 blinds is going to, for most players, store up lots of problems. Now, if you're a real wizard or a sicko post flop, then yeah, I guess you can make it smaller. But I'm guessing most of the guys watching my videos and getting things from them aren't yet at the point where post flop they've got the skills to carry out playing the hand and play effectively. If you're a really good player, yes, you can do it. If you're a not so good player at the minute, currently losing or break even player, and you're seeing other guys doing this and thinking you should be doing it, my suggestion to you is don't do it. Charge people to have the luxury of position on you post flop. Don't give them like really easy situations to just call in versus you, because if you do that, all you're doing is like you're thinking you're being aggressive, you're taking your Queen 9 suited, oh yeah, I can 3-bet this hand, then someone calls and then you've just got a whole host of problems post flop unless you smash it. So just do make sure that if people want a position on you, that you make them pay. You make them pay for it. You get value for your hand, or you just make them pay for the privilege and the luxury a position, because position's so important. We can't just be letting people have it against us at a discount price. Just because they're min opened or 2.5x, it doesn't automatically mean they should get to see your flop for just 6 or 7 blinds. That's what they're hoping for. Disappoint them, make it bigger. I'm just going to pause the video for a second because I'm going to play the same chat first because my cat is scratching to get out of the front room, which is making me think she wants to get to a litter tray, so don't really want to have to deal with a little present. Sit out, sit out, sit out, sit out. I will pause the video in just a moment and then you won't even notice when we're back. I just don't have to deal with cleaning up cat piss or cat shit off my living room floor. Just going to fold these to this check phase. We have back doors, but whatever. Won't be a moment. So we're back, and she did indeed just dart to the litter tray. So congratulations to her for letting me know that she was inconvenienced. So we're going to go for maybe 5 minutes or so. We get back to just making 25 to 30-minute videos. I think they're the ones that people appreciate the most. If we're going by how many views you get on YouTube, the longer videos don't do as well as the shorter videos. So we're not going to make anything too long, and we're going to probably just make more of them. Certainly as long as my bankroll lasts. And obviously we can just put some more money on if we were to bust the account. I'd be disappointed if we did, but we are only playing off a 7 buy-in roll or something like that. So even though I wouldn't expect to have too many downswings at 5-0, it's certainly possible off just 7 buy-ins. And the 8s was close to 3-betting the 8s there, but I don't really want to get 40 blinds in pre-flop with just 2 8s. If this guy folds here, this Nishiguro is called, we're just going to fold now at this point. He calls, he just looks so ridiculously strong. So we're now going to shoot this set 9, and then hopefully we demonstrate the point that I made earlier. Well, we've got to set, so it does make life really quite easy for us. But the guys only asked us to put an extra 5.5 blinds in there, was it? I think it was 5.5. I'm going to call with like pretty much all of my range there. Can't see many situations where to fold, whereas very same situation here when we're out of position, it's a completely different situation. Much harder for us, so we're just going to fold. And imagine we don't have a set here. I'm going to play it like maybe we can try and make some really like weakish bluffs. Or let's put pressure on it. I mean, he's just forced now into playing something like check or guessing game because I'm not really ever given him the opportunity to fold anything close to good because of my sizing. And you just don't want to be. I mean, yeah, we flopped a set there, so it was really, really easy for us. But in general, you don't really want to be making life too easy for people against you. And that's, in my opinion, what you do when you make very small 3-bets out of position. What did he have there? Yeah, he turned up with Queen Ace. He was quite unlucky that he turned Queen, but I mean, yeah, I'm not going to fold there under any circumstance pre-flop, so it doesn't really change too much in that particular hand. But there's other spots there where I could just purely be suited connectors. Or, oh shit, I wouldn't mean to bet there. Sorry, and you can just make your fold Ace Queen there. Quite a lot of flops. Not always on turns when he hits the queen, of course, but you don't want to be playing ace queen out of position in a 3-bet pot if you're giving someone, in my opinion, too much good odds to call pre-flop. And this is, I've just completely fucked this hand up, so I'm just going to fold. Keep betting here with the ace queen. Didn't really pay attention to his stack size there. We could have maybe potted it on the flop and just shoved the turn, but never mind. So a good shot. Backdoor flush draw. Even though it's not a particularly good backdoor flush draw, it's still nevertheless a backdoor flush draw. And we just win the falls. So yeah, I think we've had some discussion in this video on the small blind thing, which is something we've wanted to get off the chest for a while. And I'm quite sure there'll be some people who disagree with what I've said. Please bear in mind before you do go all in internet warrior on me about it, please do bear in mind these videos are aimed at people who aren't particularly skilled post flop at the moment, and the advice is generally aimed at people to help people keep themselves out of trouble post flop by getting themselves in situations that they're not yet equipped to handle. It's not advice I would give to somebody who's like an intermediate or advanced player. Of course not. You can do what you want when you're that good. When you're not so good post flop, that's kind of where the advice was aimed. So before you say you're talking nonsense or waste your time talk shit, just bear in mind who the comments are aimed at. So I think we'll play this king queen out, and if nothing else is interesting happening at the end of the table after that, probably just going to wrap the video up. Call here with the sevens and try and avoid flops like that. Failed to avoid a flop like that, so I guess we're just going to check fold. I'm going to get around to sitting out, otherwise we're always going to be getting dealt hands where I feel I have to prolong the video. So we've been 3-bet here again by river money. Don't know if it's the same guy 3-bet me earlier. Don't think it is. We're just going to call this time. I think 4-bet, getting it in their middle position versus cut off with the ace king couldn't be terrible, but at the same time I don't think it would be great. I think his range for getting it in versus 4-bets is going to be strong enough where ace king usually is going to be at best a flip and usually crushed. I prefer to keep his range a little bit wider. Yeah, we're going to have to end up check folding when we miss most of the time. But I think getting it in there is just going to get us in versus, get us in a situation where we're getting it on all in versus at best. Unless he's some sort of spew time. If we think he's like some okay regular, I think at best we're going to get it in versus like queens plus and ace king. And at worst, you know, we're just going to get it in versus king and aces, which is horrible for us. So I prefer calling. But there we go. That's the end of the video. Please let me know what you think about anything that you've seen. And yeah, you know where to comment. Comment in YouTube itself. Comment on wherever I post the videos at. Facebook, Reddit, all the other sites that I post. Please just do get involved. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask them. Well, we're going to call that a day for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye for now.